Summer is upon us, boys and girls, but before you go outside and finally touch grass, welcome to Setup Wars episode 344. Go ahead and grab your nice ice-cold coffee, sit back and relax, and let the Setup Wars begin.
Pulling up to TechSource, set up so fresh. Edie and the crew got that style you can't test. RGB colors light up, they flash and they dance. Dream rigs on display, ain't just by chance. Showcasing the best, from budget to beast. As the kingpin, no sleep or rest. Can't deny.
This is one of the thinnest monitors I have ever seen. If you're not a starfish from Bikini Bottom, you've probably heard of KTC by now. They're a top manufacturer for many big name brands, and they are known for their amazing quality. Their newest G27P6 monitor is no exception. It features the same LG OLED panel we've seen in the latest Ultra Gear and ROG monitors. You get 136% sRGB color gamut, an insane contrast ratio, brightness, and an ultra-fast 240Hz refresh rate with a 0.03 millisecond response time. I just can't stop staring at it because how virtually invisible the bezels are. Plus, it's TUV eye care certified, perfect for those long gaming sessions with the boys. Despite the thin panel, KTC packed it with a bunch of connectivity, including a Type-C 65-watt port to reverse charge devices, and a KVM switch to switch between multiple PCs and consoles. The sleek design makes it fit seamlessly into any setup. So get one for yourself and elevate your gaming by clicking my link down below. Starting off is Advait, a 15-year-old student from India and his hybrid laptop console setup. By the way, shout out to my Indian homies who are watching this video, I see you. Advait put the setup together in the span of 4 months and he uses it for mainly studying and light gaming. The base of the setup is a custom desk. Whether it was custom made by him or custom ordered, we don't know. However, it does the job for the limited amount of space he has. Advait went with a 24-inch LG Ultra Gear monitor which he mounted to the wall for that extra screen real estate. Having a separate display besides the built-in laptop monitor is always recommended for multitasking and overall productivity. Sometimes laptop monitors can be too small for comfort. I mean, I'm currently looking at these photos on a laptop, so I can't judge, but sometimes you just need those few extra inches. For peripherals, he's rocking a Cosmic Byte keyboard and a Red Dragon Griffin mouse, both resting on a Red Gear mouse pad. I know it might be due to budget limitations, but with such a setup, I'd recommend getting wireless peripherals, just to minimize the number of cables running across your desk. This would tidy up the desk, and whenever you need the space to do your homework, you can easily tuck them into the keyboard tray that you have. The audio gear of choice is the Zebtronic speaker, which he placed underneath the desk, and the JBL Quantum 100s that he uses for gaming, resting on the PS4 right behind his laptop. Talking about the laptop, it's a 15-inch Asus VivoBook with no dedicated GPU. Of course, it's not a powerhouse gaming rig, but it does the job of pushing the necessary pixels for Advait's purposes. I really like how you put it on a separate stand. Not only does this bring it up to eye level, but you basically created additional space on the desk for the rest of your gear. The cable management is handled properly. No loose cables on site, with the majority being tied with zip ties and Velcro straps. What I would recommend is to also get a cable sleeve for that slightly extra clean look. Even though they're all tied, having one single sleeve would look much better than a bunch of spaghetti. Taking a step back to get a wide-angle view of the whole setup, I do see you had some sort of theme in mind, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's leaning towards a wooden nature theme with slight red and orange accents, which can be seen from the collectible cars, the mouse pad, the controller, and I guess the Lay's chips? I guess that's one way to spice it up in the bedroom. All right, I'll see myself out. That was one sick intro. Damn! You should really start being active in the content creation scene, my guy. What you guys saw is Mika's white-themed productivity and gaming setup. He's a 17-year-old student from Germany who built and upgraded this in the span of 4 years. This is the 9th iteration after all the changes and custom work that went into it, and it still remains as one of my favorite setups showcased on the show. Let's start with the foundation of the setup. Mika and his dad used 2 white pieces of wood, the corner desk he already had, a metal frame, and a flexi spot standing desk base. Putting all of this together, it not only gave him more desk space to work with, but also a sturdy headboard to attach to monitors and integrate cable management trays and a power switch. A headboard is a great asset for any setup, in my opinion. I mean, there's a reason why I've installed it in my gaming room for both my setup and the wife's setup, and even for Leo back in Setup Makeover Season 6. It just adds a lot of versatility if you either don't have a sturdy wall or simply don't want to drill a ton of holes into it. I'm not even talking about the perk of easily running your cables behind it and giving the monitors and other devices a floating look. But anyway, talking about the monitors, Mika's choice fell on 2 Samsung displays, a 27-inch as his main and a 24-inch as a secondary and vertical. For everything else productivity related, he uses the 2020 M1 MacBook Air, which doubles as his 3rd display on the left. You know, the spaced out layout is questioned by a lot of people. However, in this case, it made complete sense in order to keep the display symmetrical and leave space for his audio engine speakers, which are resting on a couple of shelves. I believe the color scheme is already obvious, mainly white with black accents. This persists across all of his gear. The white Logitech G915 TKL keyboard, the Logitech MX Master 3 for productivity, and the G Pro X Superlight for gaming. We also got a white Glorious mousepad, his custom painted Stream Deck, and the Beacon Mix and Yamaha AG03 mixers, and the list goes on. We already mentioned the speakers, but Mika's audio gear doesn't stop there. Whenever he needs to focus, he switches to the SteelSeries Octus Pro headphones hanging on the headboard and has the Blue Baby bottle microphone as his input device. The cable management is very commendable. Thanks to all the custom work that he has done, the cables are routed through the back of the headboard and neatly tied all together with zip ties underneath the desk. Enough slack was also left when managing the cables going through the wall outlet, so the desk could be adjusted to a standing height and vice versa. Great job. We're finally getting to the point that most of you are probably curious about, the custom PC with the engraving at the front. As mentioned before in the past episode, that's a custom CPU design which Mika made himself, including his initials and the day he built his very first PC. You see, he and his dad used a CNC laser machine to engrave it right on the case. This very much adds to the personality and of course Mika's personal connection to the setup. The PC itself features a Ryzen 7 2700 and a GTX 1080. We actually haven't seen a Pascal GPU on the show in a very long time. This brings back a lot of memories. This is once again one of those setups that I get overjoyed seeing. Everything has its place, no unnecessary stuff that doesn't belong on the desk. All the decor is attached to the custom made boards and doesn't overpower the whole aesthetic. I really love seeing your journey here, Mika. And if you're watching this, make sure to apply again if you decide to update your setup in the future. I'm always excited to see what other cool ideas you have come up with lately. Thank you for coming back on the show. You know, I don't come across many setups that grab me by the groin within the first few seconds of glancing at the photos, but when I do, I clench my cheeks in excitement. And well, it's happening right now.
Daddy, chill.
Take a gander at this, ladies and gents. We have Rami from Omen and his insane Marvel-themed man cave. He is the uncle of Evangelina from episode 331, who had this set up with the LED strips that were placed flush within the wall, if you guys remember. I can definitely see the passion for the custom mods runs in the family here. So Rami built his whole room in the span of a little over 2 years with the help of his brother, who I assume is Evangelina's dad. Tons and tons of custom work went into it, which we'll get into right after the main gear. Rami is rocking a triple Acer Predator monitor setup with an ultrawide in the middle, sandwiched between 2 28-inch 4K displays. The positioning might feel a bit awkward, but the reason behind it is that each monitor is used independently. They're not connected to the same system. You see, the main ultrawide is powered by the custom beast on the left side. The left monitor is connected to his less powerful secondary PC, and the right monitor to the PS5 located between the two PCs. Looking down from the monitors, the cables running beautifully from his peripherals into the desk are probably the only cables you'll see in this setup. Rami went with the Roccat Vulcan TKL Pro keyboard and the Logitech G903 resting on a Razer Goliathus mousepad. He also has an interesting mix of audio gear. We can already see the Bose Companion 5s on the desk, but he also has a pair of Klipsch overhead speakers tilted down to ear level. There is no dedicated microphone, so I assume he uses the built-in mic from the Astro A50s while gaming. But that's not all. If you take a look underneath the desk, Rami is also equipped with 2 subwoofers. The Yamaha on the left, which is connected to the Klipsch speakers, and the Bose on the right. Now let's stay here for a minute. When I said the cables going into the grommets are the only ones you'll see, I actually meant it. There is nothing underneath the desk besides the power strips. Not even the ones going through it. So let's dive a little deeper into the cable management. We of course have the wall panels, which helps a ton with hiding cables. Rami left a 5cm gap between them and the wall so that he can route all the wires behind the panels without any issues. But that still doesn't explain how there are no holes for the peripheral cables and how they are all coming out of the same part of the wall to connect to the power strips. What is this sorcery? So the secret is that the tabletops are completely customized. They are grooved from the back to allow all the cables to be inserted and run flush through the edge and eliminate any visible cables, whether underneath the desk or above. For the ones that go through the grommets, the desk was drilled only halfway through, then from the back towards the holes, to then route the cables all the way to the back without showing up underneath. I know this is a lot to take in. Just wow. This was inspired by Evangelina, by the way, who used the same cable management method in her own setup. Amazing job. Before arriving to the main course, let's also talk about the Gobi glide bars as well, because they weren't left out when it came to customization. Apparently, you can only sync a maximum of 6 or 8 bars depending on the model. So Rami had to solder 3 sets together to make a whole continuous bar work as one and control it with Alexa. I love the dedication here. Now onto the part that we've all been waiting for, this absolute black and gold unit of a PC. It's a full custom loop in a fully modded Thermaltake Core P7 case. It's packed with the i9-10940X and an Aorus RTX 3090. I mean, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. But it's not just the custom water cooling or gold painted fan grills. Rami attached decals from the Marvel comic books in matching colors as well. We've got Doctor Strange on the left, Iron Man on the right, and of course Thanos in the center, right behind this custom Thanos gauntlet with LED lights inside the Infinity Stones, lighting up when the PC is powered on. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. I think something of this magnitude should have been mounted on the wall for that extra wow effect, but that would have ruined your awesome accent wall, so it's understandable. We may have talked about the setup, but as I mentioned, this is a whole man cave we got here. The rest of Rami's room is just as much of an eye candy. We have a massive Resident Evil Mansion poster as one of his favorite memories from gaming, a whole shelving unit with custom LED spotlights in each box containing his favorite Marvel and gaming memorabilia, and a whole corner dedicated to his Iron Man collection. I mean, every single piece of light you see here is also voice controlled with Alexa. A pretty cool idea you might want to implement is a custom version of Alexa with Jarvis's voice to control the setup's theme. For example, Jarvis, change the setup's theme to Thanos.
Sure thing, Ed. Weird choice without biggest enemy, but switching the theme to Thanos.
Now change it to Spider-Man.
I'm sure Mr. Parker will be pleased to hear this.
You get the idea. All of these in addition to the custom work for the cable management, the main PC, the other one with the Tony Stark has a hard PC power button with the Iron Man mask cover, heck, even the labeled power cables to know what you've connected to the strips underneath the desk, leave no doubt in my mind. And I'm more than happy to award you the 66th seal of approval. Go ahead and hit me up on Discord to claim your one-of-a-kind plaque and your free TechSource mousepad. Well deserved, my guy. Coming out number 4 is none other than Teemu, 2 episodes in a row. What? I probably missed the updated submission, but honestly, even better this way. We still have the previous setup fresh in our memory, and we can see what has changed. And by the looks of it, a lot has. He doesn't mention this in the notes, but based on the room and the walls, he and his girlfriend Emmy either renovated or moved houses completely. Also, now the setups are located on the same side of the room, and there's a total of 3. And no, they did not have a kid. We'll get to that in a sec. Of course, ladies first. In terms of gear, Emi's setup has mostly stayed the same. Emi's PC has also been slightly upgraded. It now features the i9 12900K, 32 gigs of RAM, an Asus Z690 motherboard, and a bigger AIO inside the O11 dynamic case. However, I don't see the Lian streamer cables anymore though. Did they stop working or did you get tired of them? They would have fit the current PC much better in my opinion. Teemu's PC has also been upgraded. Since he gave his Intel CPU to Emi, he switched to the dark side and is now rocking a 7800X3D processor with a new motherboard, a Corsair set of RAM, inside a brand new O11 Vision case. Another addition are the Lian LCD fans, which he uses to keep track of system information. Now on to the main setup on the right. Looks like Teemu is still rocking the 49-inch Odyssey G9 monitor, which is to be expected, honestly. I don't know what else you could have upgraded to except for maybe 3 of them stacked on top of each other. His peripherals are also mostly the same. The only difference is the Asus ROG wireless keyboard instead of the previous Razer one. A massive upgrade, by the way. For audio, he now uses the Rode Pod mic and the Turtle Beach Stealth Pro headphones without any dedicated speakers. The second pair on the left are the Advait Maxwell headphones, which are a part of the setup in the middle. I haven't seen something like this on Setup Wars in a while. The setup we just covered is only meant for casual gaming, and the middle one is meant for only playing CS2. As odd as it sounds, this makes complete sense, since you'd have to find a solution to place both a 49-inch ultra-wide and the 540Hz Asus monitor on one side without sacrificing either space or doing lots of custom work on the wall. The less invasive solution is to simply have it separated from the main setup, and given the desk space, Teemu could afford to do it this way. For this setup, he uses the same Rode PodMic microphone, however he went with a different set of peripherals featuring the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini Wireless and an Asus ROG mouse. I'll be honest, this top-down view specifically made me think that you barely have any space for CS2 competitive gaming. But then the other photos show that it was just taken from a bad angle. The cable management is actually better than last time. The angled raceways are an interesting choice, but given the locations of your gear, I guess it made sense to run them that way. I think I have a new term for this layout. I'm gonna call it train track cable management. Aside from that, no complaints. Everything is neatly tied together, and probably the biggest recommendation I can give to you is to get a proper duster. Because if you say you clean everything before taking the pictures, you're doing something wrong, son. I've been using this one from Amazon lately to clean Big Red version 4. It does both sucking and blowing, which is very useful. I'll drop a link below if you want to pick one up. In the last episode, I did say there was a lack of personality, which still seems like it's the case here, with the exception of the shoe collection. But this layout with the setups right next to each other gives it a much better foundation to build upon and customize it in a more fun way, and make it a special couples corner, with the addition of your little friend Hippo, of course. As always, happy to see you back on the show, and I'm looking forward to your next setup upgrade. Thank you Teemu and Emi for participating. Last but not least, we have Zach, a fellow boomer from Colorado, and his gaming and home office setup, which took him around 2 years to complete. Although that's only the time that took him to finish this one specifically. Zach has been a fan of the channel for many years and built his very first setup back in 2013, over 10 years ago. It went through multiple changes over the years with new PCs, new gadgets, moving houses, and so on. He even made his own website where he showcases all of them with detailed gear breakdowns and descriptions. I love the extra effort here. The current setup features 2GB monitors, a 34-inch ultrawide connected to his PC, and a 32-inch 4K display on the left, which he uses to game on the PS5. For peripherals, it looks like he went with a Logitech mouse and a keyboard combo, resting on a custom extended mousepad from Amazon. I do see that you have a matching one on the left, but is it being utilized for anything or is it just for looks? If you're watching this video, let me know in the comment section. For audio, Zach decided to stay modest and use only an LG soundbar for consuming content, I assume, and the PlayStation Gold wireless headphones, which he stores inside the Alex drawer on the left. If we take a look underneath the desk, cable management seems to be under control. He used a couple of racks to support most of the cables, he used Velcro straps to tie them together, and he drilled holes in the wall and the desk to route them towards his monitors and PC. You guys can also see the external power button right here, which he uses to power on his system. More proof that someone here is a big fan of the show. The PC power in the setup rocks an i7 8700K and an RTX 3080 Ti. You should probably upgrade your CPU whenever you get a chance because I do see some bottlenecking issues with this combo. With that said though, I do think the main selling point of this setup is the overall decor and collectibles around the whole room. Right above Zach's setup, we see multiple shelves proudly displaying his PlayStation console collection. We got different games, collectibles, steelbooks, retro games, and his old GPUs and Skeletools that he got from his dad. On the right side, he's got multiple posters of his favorite video games cover art, and this trend continues across the whole room. All of these tell a story, and in my personal opinion, it's what makes a setup truly special for its owner. You know, it's not about the gear or the furniture or how expensive both could be. It's about how it reflects one's personality and passions. In this case, each piece has a story, a memory, making it a space that is uniquely his. You know, I hope everyone can take a bit of inspiration and build our setups in a way that they become a reflection of ourselves. Thank you, Zach, for being a part of the show. As always, I hope this episode made your Mondays just a little bit better. Before you guys head out, let me know in the comment section which of these setups was your absolute favorite. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.